I don't know that I ever set out and said I'm going to be a director to do this work. I just wanted to be in position to help people heal. I absolutely love the work of Alive and Thrive because we're solution focused. We can identify a problem all day, but if there's never any work done behind it, we're just having a whole bunch of conversations and wasting time, really. What I appreciate is that we do education. We start off with education because there's a lot of people traumatized and we don't know that we're traumatized. First, we have to say, okay, this isn't just how Bobby acts. Like there is something that happened with Bobby. And so understanding that when Bobby begins to realize that something happened with him, that's traumatic in and of itself. How do we handle that? What does that look like? What does that trauma response look like? Providing education around that and adverse childhood experiences, adverse community experiences is our first step. We provide training to agencies about trauma, what that looks like, how it shows up, how they can help. It goes even more into the community. Like I said, with those type of trainings. And then we ask the community, what do you want to do to promote resilience? And they come up with a plan. They come up with a project. They come up with a course. They come up with an event. Been able to do a few events, a couple of community projects that give back to the community and help address adverse childhood experiences or teach emotional regulation or creates awareness. That's the part that I really love about what we do, is that we put it in the community's hands to say, what do you need to heal? Let's have a conversation about it. Now that you know that something's going on, what do you need to do? And then we help them do it. If we don't understand trauma, it's real easy to inflict it. If you don't know, if we're not looking at all the aspects of who all the policies that we create, who they affect and how they affect them, if it's oppressive to a certain group of people, if it's inclusive, what does that look like for people? Does it promote supremacy? What does this policy do? If we're not looking at that, then it's possible that this policy can promote trauma for someone. Even if we look at tax laws and who pays taxes, if we look at, and this is something that's just wide known, if we look at BPU, which is the utility company in Wyandotte County, everybody can't pay those high utilities. If you cut off someone's utilities and they have a person at home that needs a breathing machine at night, or they're trying to feed their babies, what does that look like? How can we get around those type of things? Even when it comes to the redlining that has happened in the community of who lives where, and certain people can't find housing just because they don't meet some criteria that is made up. Where do they go? Public housing Section 8, like, does it promote family if someone is living in there, or does it promote the separation of family and taking a lot of people out of their households? Because if I have a father of my child, he can't stay with me because he makes too much money, but look at the income rate that is needed to stay on assistance. So now I can't afford health care, but unless he's out of the home. It's just like so many different things that play into that I don't think that we really look at. And it's not built for people to really succeed. It's just built for them to survive for a minute. So I won't have the opportunity to take my kids by my old home because it's been torn down by the government, because they just wanted to make like some extra space that they're doing nothing with, My parents was kind of offered way below market value to make it look like they were offered to move out of their home. I feel like a powerful solution would be for our decision makers to come together, first of all, and build healthy relationships among themselves. I'm not saying that they have to like each other, but just have healthy communication and relationships so that the community is getting one message from what they're trying to do. So if we understand what's going on, then we can give constructive feedback. But it's hard to give constructive feedback if the powers that be don't come together and agree on what's happening in our community, or how they're going to disseminate their legal justice or whatever they have into the community. So I think that's a powerful solution in and of itself, for the leadership to come together. But then, yes, for them to be more aware of how what they do affects the community as a whole. I think for Wyandotte County, one thing that we can acknowledge when it comes to policies is that they have not been equitable. They have not benefited the community as a whole. And I think once we start acknowledging that and acknowledging what it looks like for our youth in the east of Wyandotte County and in the west of Wyandotte County to receive the same level of education, have the same access to recreational activities, have the same access to funding. When we start with our young people, let's just admit we haven't done them the best justice that we could. We need to be more inclusive. We need to make sure that everybody has a seat at the table. We need to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to eat, that funding is the same throughout, or that people have access to it. And even information, how information is disseminated into the community, making sure that it gets to the community, not just to the grass tops, but to the roots, to those who don't normally get the information, making sure that we all know and we all have access and we all have a voice. What would that community look like?